Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Brian Caraway to defeat Pedro Munoz. And I'm here to talk about Vitor Petrino versus Marcin Prachnio. Vitor Petrino's 25 years old, 8-0 as a pro, and he's giving up 1 inch of height, but he's got 3 inches of reach over 34-year-old Marcin Prachnio, who is 16-6 as a pro. Petrino's 8-0. He's got 6 knockouts, 2 decisions. Definitely a knockout artist, a striker first and foremost. His 6 knockout wins come in the 4 in the first round, 2 in the second round, and the 2 guys he beat in the second round are very good fighters. Gajamorad Antigolov, former UFC fighter, and Rodolfo Balato, this guy who lost to Petrino twice, once in round 1, once in round 2, but that's it. Nobody else beat him, and that second fight was on the Contender Series. That's the one that got Petrino into the UFC. And once he got into the UFC, I was really impressed with his debut against Anton Turkalj. It wasn't the fight he wanted to fight, but it's the fight I wanted to see him fight, to answer questions. Every question isn't answered, but that answered a lot of them. We saw him in a grappling match, one in which position was reversed like 1,000 times, which... whatever. For a guy that is not a grappler, first and foremost, that's the kind of fight that would suck your gas tank dry and discourage you and weaken you, especially fighting a guy, even though Turkalj's not the most dominant guy in the world, he's definitely a grappler, first and foremost. So Petrino really impressed me just by fighting hard for 15 minutes, not being discouraged, never really conceding position, not for a long time anyway, and always fighting his way out. So that answered a lot of questions. I guess about his grappling, but really more so his cardio. I think the guy's in really good shape. Again, he's got a lot of first-round finishes, but it bodes well for his future. Now, against Marcin Prachnio, I do think he's going to get a striking battle. Because Prachnio, even though he's been fighting for 22 fights, he's only got 1 submission victory. And hell, he's got 0 submission defeats. Everything's, this guy's a striker, and he wants to be in a striking battle every time. And that's good for him sometimes, but here at the UFC level, I think, his chin is always going to be an issue. He's got 6 losses, 4 of them are by knockout, 2 by decision. The decisions come to Philip Lins and this other guy from Croatia way back when. But the Lins fight was somewhat recently, and, that was a good war. And but his 4 losses by knockout are all to UFC level guys. Mike Rodriguez knocked him out with an elbow in the UFC. Ankalaev head kicked him, and Sam Alvey hit him with the Sam Alvey hook. Those are all first round knockouts in the UFC. And then the one outside the UFC comes to Alexander Rakic, and that was a 3rd round knockout on the feet. So no shame in losing that one. But despite the level of competition and whatever you could say about the danger of these guys, he's got a weak chin, Marcin Prachnio. That's a trait of his at this point, and it's going to be a trait moving forward. Yeah, I saw the Philip Lins fight. Yeah, I saw him fight Khalil Roundtree, too. He's a very dangerous guy, and win a decision against him. But the majority of Prachnio's losses moving forward should be by knockout, and that's my prediction here for this one. I think there's a chance Marcin Prachnio takes over with his leg kicks and turns out to be the more refined striker, even though I have it in my head he's a brawler. But Vitor Petrino definitely has speed and power on his side. He's a good athlete who I expect to have really good cardio. And I think it's just going to be a bad matchup where he's going to clip that chin of Prachnio and put him away somewhat early. And that's my prediction. I'm picking Vitor Petrino to get a knockout. You can play his knockout lines. Round 1 is plus 175. I'm not into that. I just played the under, really. The under at minus 130, 1.5 rounds. My heart's not totally into that either, but it's definitely my prediction. I think if the knockout will come, it will be in the first half of the fight. I don't think it's going to be an issue of, an accumulation of strikes, damage. I think it's going to be a chin failing against power. So that's the prediction and the play. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit, and check out my other videos.